Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha'Allah, Kuhulimla Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rachachadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us His beautiful truth. Just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Ahwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan the Waf just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And something that I've seen, when it comes to digital, we're the watchmen, we're to watch and pray, and to report on what it is that we see, just like any other, say like border agents, like, they're watching to see if there's somebody that's gonna, that's coming across to that's our job as well on a spiritual side, to watch and pray and let our people know what's going on, so a little light thing. And let me grab a quick script real quick. Now there's a scripture that goes off into, light things or heavy things, or let me just grab it. In the Ecclesiasticus, also known as the Book of Sirach, chapter 5, verse 15. And it says, be not ignorant in any matter, Salakia. Be not ignorant in anything, in a great matter or small, Salakia. So we're not to be ignorant in any matter. So when we see little things like this, and we know that Revelation 13:16 is around the corner, one of the last major prophecies as far as the mark of the beauty and the beast, I call it. That chippity chip, that potato chip they want to put into you, that damn PlayStation, they want to joystick you. Anyway, but this is an article where this immigrant, right, it says security experts are warning everyone about the severe consequences of bringing your phone to a protest, right? And the way that they are cutting into people and information, because this is what it's all leading up to. All these agreements and stuff like that, a lot of these executive orders that Trump signed into play, with all these different billionaire companies that's about to, get down on the data part of things, digital finances, digital everything, and they're about to phase out what we know as paper money and, these cell phones and stuff like this. They're going to want to put this stuff in you for reasons like this right here. So I just want to jump to the point. I'm not going to get all off into it. I want to jump to what this lady said. Now, let me see here. I'll just start here. The past weekend, Hannah Sabatine protested President Donald Trump administration in Los Angeles, and they didn't bring their usual phone. We're protesting the administration, which is a lot scarier than previous protests I've attended, because we've seen how Trump can lash out. Yeah, you're right. He just like a 3-year-old, man. For this past protest, I brought a burner phone, which doesn't have my touch ID or my face scan, which I wouldn't ever put no touch ID and shit. You ain't getting no fingerprint from me for get into no fucking phone. And you're not getting my face scan to get into no damn phone. That shit's stupid as hell. I don't know why people do that. That shit is just dumb. Just go ahead and throw you a code in there, man. You know what I'm saying? Where you can, a PIN code, a 6-digit PIN code should be just fine, for basic stuff anyway, because what are you going to do? Would they put your damn finger on you and touch screen and put your face to the damn screen and open your damn phone anyway? You might as well at least give them the hassle of trying to see what these numbers are or whatever. Fuck that, bro. That shit is stupid, man. I've never understood that. One of my neighbors next door, I mentioned it in a lesson about 2 weeks ago. And he got two twins. He got a twin set. 2 kids. They like about 8, 9 years old or whatever. And they was having this back and forth about the Android and the iPhone. And the little girl, she was like, it's a boy and girl set. The little girl, she was like, well, yeah, I like the iPhone because of my facial recognition and my fingerprint. I'm like, me and her dad looking like, what I'm saying, like, yeah, the police. And I don't know why he would allow them to have phones like that and actually put their, biometrics in a fucking phone, bro. That's just stupid, man. As far as the phone goes, it's only for doing these lessons. Only for doing these lessons. Today is Wednesday. Going on Thursday. It's been a week. I got one text this week. I think. One text. I don't get no phone calls. I don't get no texts, nothing. I'm not just into the phone like that. It's just You know, it's strictly for what I'm doing as far as these videos. I'm not saying it's not, wicked to have your phone and be talking to people and kicking it with people. It's just my little circle is not like that. We get to the boogie as far as like what we're talking about and keep it simple. What do you need? Okay, bang, 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 and it's off. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. Some people, they like that. I'm not into Facebook. I'm not into no damn Instagrams. This is the main hookup that I use is this YouTube. But anyway, let's go ahead. It says, she says, for the past protest, I brought a burner phone, which doesn't have my touch ID or my face scan. She says she's one of many who rallied against Trump at the thousands of No Kings protests across the nation this past weekend to reject authoritarianism and to counter Trump's military birthday parade. So, okay, all that good stuff. These marches follow ongoing protests against immigration, customs, and enforcement raids. Who has marched for the Free Palestine and Black Lives Matter over the last decade, said they are now adding additional layers of phone security in response to Trump's deploying the National Guard. But everybody want to film. Everybody got to film this shit. It says in addition to using an old Android phone with just a memory card for taking photos or videos, she says also she put the phone in a special pouch known as a Faraday bag that can block cell and Wi-Fi signals. Given that I am an immigrant, I am just going to do all the extra steps. They said, should you do the same? Many of us rely on our phones to travel and find our friends and crowds, but they can't also reveal more about us than we would want, especially to authorities. That's why one of the big questions you need to ask yourself is whether you should bring your phone to a protest. We get this question a lot, and I think it really depends, said Anu Joshi, an American Civil Liberties Union staffer who has led multiple Know Your Right trainings for the No Kings marches, that what we encourage people to do is just to consider the potential risk. Yeah, and there are potential risks, because they can run your ass down, man, with that phone. That's why I don't get much into it. If I got to toss this bitch, it's just going to get tossed. You got people, man, that, all they know is their phone. They can't even, motherfuckers get anxiety attacks and get the shakes and shit, man, when they don't have their phone. You got people, man, you take a phone from a 13 to 18-year-old, or matter of fact, a 30 to 40-year-old damn near, you can get some violent tendencies out of that person, man. Okay, it says the case for not bringing a phone at all. Your phone can track, this is what the point that I wanted to get to. The phone can track your real-time location. And you might not want federal authorities or law enforcement to be able to look up that you were at a protest through a potential subpoena. Even if it's in airplane mode, there's a chance that your movements can be tracked. The only way to ensure that you aren't being tracked through your phone is not bringing it at all. That's because when you move, your phone is connecting to various cell phone towers. We've seen movies, One of the dog movies to watch as far as something like this is Enemy of the State with Will Smith and Gene Hackman, I think is his name. Came out, I don't know how, maybe, I don't know, it's pretty old now, but it was a dog movie when it came out. Got it on DVD. It says the most surefire way of preventing that from happening is turning your phone off, said Alejandro, one of the co-directors of Lucy Parsons Labs. I don't even know if that'll work, just turning it off. A Chicago-based group of technologists and activists that runs digital security training classes. He said when they protest, they turn their phones off before they even leave their home. So it's less easy for cellular data to help determine where they were going that day. The other downside to bringing your phone is if it gets confiscated by officers, the data within it may get used against you. Yeah, that's okay. True. If you are detained or arrested, then your phone could be taken from you. And law enforcement has wide use of number of forensic extraction devices, said Bill Buddington, an Electronic Frontier Foundation senior staff technologist. Forensic extraction devices can reveal private information such as whether you attended a protest, your communications with sources, and social media posts on sensitive topics, for example. So what are they talking about right now? This is what this guy What from the damn? What's the name of this company? Palantir or whatever the name of the company is. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me come back to this. I don't know why I keep forgetting about the name of this damn company. I should know by now. I think it's Palantir. Yeah. Palantir. If I'm pronouncing it right. But this is overall what that shit is about. Okay, so it's going into the Trump deal. I don't necessarily. Well, we can get this though. It says, yes, there are reports and discussions around Palantir's involvement with the Trump administration. Here's what the current information indicates: increased government contracts. Okay, let's get to the potential for data sharing. It says a key aspect of Palantir's involvement is tied to President Trump's executive order aimed at eliminating information silos, which encourages data sharing between government agencies. Palantir software, particularly Foundry, is being utilized by agencies like the Department of Homeland Security and the Department of Health and Human Sources to organize and analyze data. So that right there is going to cover everything that you out and about doing. You know, your money, your damn medical records, your in 1995, did you pay all your damn taxes? You know, what kind of grades did your ass get in ninth grade? Did you get suspended? Okay, so controversy over master database. It says concerns have been raised, fueled by a New York Times report about the possibility of creating a master database of personal information by merging data from different agencies. Critics and some former Palantir employees express worries. Hell, even the people that work there express worries about potential misuse of such a centralized database for purposes like policing immigrants or targeting critics. And it ain't gonna be just about policing no damn immigrants. See, Trump and them fool you so-called white people into believing that, you know, he's gonna make America great again. He's gonna get rid of all these immigrants out of the country. You don't know that he just, you know, your rights. He just took all the rights from your ass. He gonna use this same shit for you, in case you come up against him. So their response was, Palantir has denied the existence of a master database. Yeah, right. Project to unify databases across federal agencies, stating that their software is used by customers to manage and utilize their own data. Yeah, but you know they got the key. They got a front door key, back door key. They can get in the damn windows. They emphasize that they are a data processor, not a data controller, and that their contracts include safeguards to protect data. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You believe? Hey, the scripture says to what? Let's get that. No, we don't trust your ass. Get the hell out of here. Ecclesiasticus 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, oh yeah, this is for you. This is for your safety, and you know it's encrypted, and you can do this and you can do that, and it's just gonna make your life easier. That's what they do. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rusts have not been altogether wiped away. And there you have it, man. He's going to eventually show you those true colors. Why would they tell you the truth about something like that? Come on, bro. Let's go back into the article. So this is where I was. Okay, so it says, and so those devices, especially if they're being used on an older device, or a device that hasn't had operating system security updates in a while, will be able to more readily extract all sorts of information. Buddington said, if you don't want to leave your phone at home, you can leave it in your car, so that is before becomes harder to pinpoint your whereabouts at any point, or leave it off during the protest. This should ideally prevent some level of tracking and the creation of data linking you to the protest. But we understand, see, we're out on the highways and byways, and generally we have our devices, and we're kind of using our devices to do lessons. And we get it. We already know that, you know, Esau, they already done set up. You know, they got a list of who's who as far as the Hebrew Israelites. They know the camps. They know the groups. They know the leaders. They know, you know, just the connection through YouTube. You don't think YouTube collects data going through Google? You know what I'm saying? Like, we already know those things. So we depend upon Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. We trust in our Lord. He's the one that protects and keeps us safe. You know, so we're not worried about shit, because we know that this man is going to come down with great wrath at some point anyway. You know, as a matter of fact, the Lord actually even spoke of. Let me go into Blue Letter real quick. Matthew chapter 24, some of the things that the Lord was speaking on. And all this stuff is happening too, man. It's wild. So let me just read from verse 3. Matthew 24:3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? And that word world is going off into the end of an age, or an end of a kingdom, which is, the scripture says that Esau, which is the biblical name for the so-called white man, is the end of the world, and Jacob is the biblical name for you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, is the beginning of it that followeth. So Esau is the end of the world, Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And you're watching this man's age end, and our age is about to begin. And they're going to come down with great wrath because they know that they have but a short time, according to Revelation 12:12. Right? So it goes on to say, and we use the true names of the Father and Son. True name of the Father is Yahweh, which means that he exists, or the existing one, and the true name of his Son is Yahweh Shai, which means that he's the Savior or deliverer in the Paleo Hebrew. We don't use Jesus. We don't call our Father Jehovah, because there was no letter J 2,000 years ago. The letter J was invented in 1524 by a grammarian named Giorgio Trissino. So 500 years ago, that's when that letter was created. So 2,000 years ago, when our Lord walked the earth, we know no one was calling on no letter J. No, nobody was calling on James, John, Joshua, Jesus. None of that shit existed. So we go with the real, true paleo names of our Father and our Savior, his Son, Yahweh Shai. So the true name of the Father is Yahweh, and the true name of his Son is Yahweh Shai. We have to always explain that for new comers that may be just hearing his videos for the first time. But verse 4, it says, And Yahweh Shai answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. That's a commandment. Don't let nobody mislead you when it comes to this truth and what's going on. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am. They say Christ. We say Mashiach, or they say, Messiah. And shall deceive many. So many are going to come in his name and deceive many. And overall, one of the main things that our people are duped by or fooled by is white Jesus. The Lord's name is not Jesus, and he's not some black so-called white man. If he was walking the earth today, he would be what they would call a black man, or a so-called Negro. He had woolly hair, very dark skinned color, and he had a very deep voice according to Revelations, chapter 1, verses 13 through 15. Okay, so it says, check out all these things that he said. Verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Hey, they getting down with right now. Iran, Israel, Russia still giving Ukraine the business, but now Russia is talking shit to America about, hey, you better not strike Iran, because Iran is an ally to Russia. Of course, America is an ally to Israel. And it's just a lot of power players in it, man. So this thing is happening. So when we bring out this digital stuff, because the digital stuff, or the mark of the beast, it's got to happen before World War III. Man, we almost out of here. The Lord is coming, will be soon. Okay, but it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So we're not troubled, man. We're at peace. You're supposed to be, have that peace of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these things are happening. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Now this is the point that I wanted to get to. Verse 9, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. But the point that I wanted to get is them delivering us, up to the, matter of fact, let's go into Revelation chapter 2. I think verse 10. That's why when I'm saying when it comes to the cell phone or our location, they already know where we are. They pretty much overall, now one day you might be coming home and shit, you might just be making a quick move and you leave your cell phone at home, right? And you just jumping into your vehicle, you just going up the street to a store. And as you're driving back, you see your motherfucking house surrounded. That the Lord may give you an out, like, man, let me bust these corners. I'm not finna go to the crib and all these, they battering ramming the damn house in. No, I'm about to bend some corners, and I'm not going home. I'm not going to see what they doing. I'm not going to see, hey, what's going on. No, no, we already, the Lord might give you an out like that, but you just never know. But verse 10, it says, fear none of these, Revelations 2 and 10, fear none of these things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, and that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. See? He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. And that's what we're trying to avoid. You know, by the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem El Shai. You don't want no parts of the second death. That thermonuclear fire is coming through this bitch. You know, because America's going to be torched. But I just wanted to point out the fact that, you know, hey, we're going to be, some of us are going to be persecuted. Some of us are going to be, beheaded. You know? So some of us may be pilgrims. Because like I said, the Lord might give you an out. He might, you know, literally, you might be like, you know, jump up and just, you know, you might just be walking up a block to just go and visit somebody or just whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then the Lord give you that little 10 to 15 minute window where you looking like, oh shit, all them damn lights, what's that going on around my crib? You know, but Esau, he likes to do a lot of early morning shit. He likes to, you know, he plays that surprise, you know, he'll get your ass 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning when you just going to sleep, catch your ass in your boxers, man. You know, but anyway, let's see what else they got in here. If you bring your phone, at least turn off Touch ID and Face ID. I don't know why people do that. That is one of the most stupidest fucking hookups to a phone. I never even thought, but I guess people use it. I didn't think people was gonna use that shit when they first done it. I'm like, fingerprint. You know, first thing, you know, Jake thinking, you know, that was well before I came into the truth. You think of fingerprint? Man, you fucking crazy. Fucking, you gonna get a police department? You gonna volunteer a damn fingerprint? Get the hell out of here, man. Although not bringing a phone at all makes it harder for surveillance, realistically, most of us want to have some form of communication and find it difficult to leave a phone behind. And see, that's what Esau them pushed everybody to. Because when we was growing up, hey man, you I can remember the landline. I can remember when there was no cell phone. This is how fast this shit been moving. I can remember when there wasn't no cell phone. Now everybody, you must have your phone to move about and operate throughout the day. I can remember shit, if you had to know where the fuck you was going. There wasn't no GPS. So, you know, you can just pull up a Safari or pull up whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying, and just hit a button and it's telling you to make a left here, make a right there. No, you had to know where you was going, or you had to know how to use a damn map if you was traveling out of town. You know, you remember phone numbers. I remember, man, we used to remember shit, 20, 30, 40, 50 damn phone numbers off the top of the head. Like it was nothing. Well, that's such and such number, such and such, such. You was at a damn payphone hitting numbers, boop, 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 boop. You know what I'm saying? I remember when there was a such thing as a damn collect call, you know? Then I remember when the phone cards first came out. I can remember when, you know, it just started to phase and transition. You know what I'm saying? They had a one way. So say for instance, you on the phone and somebody else was trying to call, it would just be a busy signal. Then it came out with a two-way where you'll hear a little boop. You know, if you're on the phone with somebody, you'll hear a little beep come through. That lets you know that there's an incoming call. So you can click over. You can say, hold on for a minute. You hit the clicker on the phone button and it'll click you over to the next person. And then, you know, you can hit the button again, click back to whoever it was. Then it came out with a three-way. So now you can do this with two extra people. And then, you know, of course, everything phased out. And now here we are today. I can remember the pager, the beeper. I remember that was some shit, man, that only doctors had. And then, you know, of course, if you got caught with a damn beeper, you was considered to be a drug dealer. And then the next thing you know, everybody had a beeper. And then Jake actually, you know, was the first ones texting before you even had text buttons, because Jake got smart and was using the numbers, flipping the numbers upside down. And, you know, certain numbers, you can flip your pager upside down and it would say a whole message to you. Jake was just, you know, Jake came up with that shit. Niggas in the hood. You know, you could only do about 20 different. It was a nice little list. or 20, different hookups where if you put in 1900, whatever the fuck, and you flip the pager over, you can actually, it's like a message. It's actually looking like damn words. And that's what Jake was doing. Then next thing you know, the Sky Pagers and shit like that came out. Or you had them big ass phones, and you had the phone, the car phone. I remember all that stuff. So now here we are today, where you can put a damn fingerprint and a facial. This shit that moves so quick. That's how we know that this information as far as data wise, Revelation 13:16, they got that shit ready to rock already. People been using chips for over 20 years to make payments, man. Chips in their damn hand. So this thing is moving quick as shit, man. Okay, so where is we at here? It says in these cases, privacy experts strongly recommend disabling biometrics like fingerprint recognition and face ID if you bring your phone to a protest. That's because in general, a memorized passcode has stronger legal protections against a court order compelling you to unlock and decrypt your phone. That's what I was saying. I don't get you putting your face. Anybody can shove your face into your damn phone, man. Or make you roll your damn finger across that fingerprint hookup and take your damn phone. You got credit cards in that bitch. You doing Apple Pay. You doing all, Nah, man, nah, hell no. I ain't never seen that to be. Shit, fuck that. I lose a debit card. I'm just calling the bank. That type. I don't need none of that on the hookup. I know how to do it, but I don't see no use in it. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it comes to a point where, okay, now you have to just make your payments through your phone. Okay, well, I'll just upload. I'll do the thing. But until then, it's gonna be some regular shit. I'm gonna whip that goddamn debit card out and tap and pay that bitch. Because it's no different than putting your damn phone to the screen. All it is to Jake is, it just seems so amazing. Look at this technology. This is a miracle. No, man, I don't give a fuck about none of that. Because if it was up to me, I wouldn't even have a phone. I wouldn't even have a phone if I wasn't doing videos and lessons, man. Anyway, it goes on to say, but when you enable biometric logins, you may compromise your Fifth Amendment privilege against being compelled to incriminate yourself. As a practical matter, the protection is better too, added Burlington. Because if you are in a situation where you're detained, then regardless of a situation legally, an officer might be able to unlock your device without your consent just by taking your fingerprint, and pressing it against the touch ID or showing it to your face. All you got to do is flip your damn phone around on you and your phone is open. It's like a Jake, you know what I'm saying? You know your woman. You know what I'm saying? You out here, you dealing with another woman. You know what I'm saying? And she trying to get into your iPhone. And she trying to get into, your ass sleep, slobbering. And she putting your damn phone up to your face and opening your shit up. She's all in your damn contacts and text messages and shit. On some damn James Bond spy shit. Or you sleep and she rolling your motherfucking fingerprint. Fuck out of here, man. Okay, so it says, disabling biometrics can vary by device, but for Android 12 and later devices, you can enable lockdown mode to temporarily disable fingerprint and facial recognition. For iPhones, you can go to settings, find Face ID and passcode, and turn iPhone unlock off. We really encourage people to disable those biometrics. And why don't you encourage them not to use it? And instead to use a strong numeric or alphanumeric password to unlock your phone, to ensure that no one can unlock your phone without your consent. Hey, that's what I always say. I ain't ever been about no Face ID and no damn fingerprint. That's the dumbest shit ever. I don't know how they pull that off. And people use it though. It says, as for tracking concerns, airplane mode is pretty good and can mitigate dangers of having your real-time location tracked by ads, Buddington said. You can also buy additional tech to help you block your location signal. But there are pros and cons. Faraday bags can help block signals a little bit more than airplane mode. He said, especially if you forget to turn off your certain settings. But he cautioned that by bringing one, you will reduce your ability to plausibly deny that you're part of the protest. These are basic phone security considerations, but there are longer primers that can help You strategize how to secure your phone before and after protest. For example, if you take pictures at a protest, you should take some extra time to blur out faces and possibly remove metadata. Metadata. Signal actually has a blurring feature built in. Above all, don't wing it. Creating a game plan before a protest takes time and sometimes difficult conversations, but ultimately secure practices don't just keep the individual safe, but also keep the collective network around the individual secure as well. Practical safety and security is a simple act of solidarity, and it gives you and your friends the reassurance that if it hits the fans, there's something we can do. So before you ask the question of whether or not you should bring your phone, ask, am I going with someone? And will people know what to do if something happens? Take it from Sabatine. They plan to be the only one in their protest group who would have a burner phone so that their friends could go phoneless. Beyond writing phone numbers of each other and of lawyers on their arms, Sabatine also told their parents and friends about their location for the protest, so someone knew where they would be. If it wasn't for the increased military presence in Los Angeles, I don't know if I would have gone the extra mile for security or safety, Sabatine said. But because the forces are now different, I think that's what's making people pivot their action plans and a little bit more and erring the side of safety. But see, this is what they're trying to get rid of, and it'll just, and they're gonna, come to a point of forcing people, or not necessarily forcing people. Or when I say forcing people, they're gonna make it difficult for you to move in society without it. Same way that they done with COVID. You didn't have the mask. You couldn't prove that you took that damn shot, and all that other stuff. You couldn't go into certain buildings. You had to do that 6 feet shit and all that stuff like that. So they done a tester. They already got the data as to how to move about now with this next whatever they're going to do. But their ultimate plan is to chip everybody. So they're going to know your location no matter what. They're going to know which room you walked in, when you went upstairs, how long you was upstairs, when you came downstairs, when you opened the refrigerator, when you turned on the stove to fry a goddamn bologna sandwich or something. So Salakia, but let me just grab this last script. We already in Revelation, but this is what it's boiling down to right here. Very important, man, that we know this stuff. Revelation 13:16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So this man is about to come down with that great wrath, man, and push this upon the whole entire earth, man. All that, they was out there, Trump was talking about if you wear a mask, some bullshit about being arrested, you know what I'm saying? But here you go, you got men out here with masks on that you don't even know if they really agents. They don't have no warrants. They just running up on you talking about, come with me. You could just really seriously just be being kidnapped, man. You don't know who these people are. But they wanted you to not wear a mask so they can get a better, I guess them damn street cameras, because cameras everywhere. And that's what this guy's trying to tap into. See all these cameras that's all over the place? They got these license plate readers and stuff all over the place, man. There's fucking cameras everywhere. Trust me. If you get within, man, damn near a mile of a Walmart, man, they cameras can pick up on your ass, man, from damn near a mile, probably even 2 miles, 3 miles away. Hell, if you got enough clear enough hookup, it's fucking cameras on all the light posts, cameras on all the traffic signal lights. It's cameras everywhere. So I mean, this is what it's coming down to, man. So this man he's gonna come with that chip soon. And you ain't gonna be, and they'll use something like this, like, see, we got an article where, citizens are doing this and they're doing this and they're doing that to try and avoid being detected. And as law enforcement, we should know exactly what these people are about. They could be terrorists, they could be this, they could be that. They get to using those buzzwords, and next thing you know, man, it's a new law. But hey, Trump, he signed a bunch of executive orders, man, that's done pretty much killed every little bit of constitutional rights that you had, that little bit that you did have, because they had already clipped it any damn way. But They coming down the pipe where they about to be like, you what? You have a right to remain silent. No. Nah, cuz. You know, they want to get into your thoughts. That's what this other, I can't think of this one guy, that wicked bastard. They want to know what you thinking, man. On some precog, what they used to call it, they called it precog and what's that Tom Cruise movie? Minority Report. That's another good movie to watch. But anyway, didn't want to keep it long. I just seen this article and I was like, wow. I mean, it's something to think about. I mean, me personally, I would have kind of thought that anyway. Like, hell no, I'm not taking my phone with me. But to actually see some of the things that they're actually mentioning, I was thinking that shit be anyway. Yeah, and people, man, you know, people are rising up, man. People are starting to realize what's happening in the world. They just don't know what's happening on a spiritual level. But anyway, man, I'm gonna end out there. Pray that this lesson was edifying. Kwam Yashala and a Bible ball.